went full time and I have, superseded six figures in my business, and I'm looking to make multiple six figures now in my business. And I'm here to show you other coaches and holistic healers how to do the same. And as I mentioned before, you do not need a team to get started. You don't even need a team to break six figures, honestly. Like, it was just me for the longest time. I didn't even have a VA. It was just me, hit six figures. Now I'm looking to bring on a little more help, but you do not need a team. And you do not need all the fancy funnels and everything. You can literally just find clients without paid advertising, which is what I teach. I teach a method so that you can actually get clients without paid advertising, because I was pouring thousands of dollars into Google ads. And while it was working, I was killing my bank account. So what I figured out was an unpaid way, not an unpaid way, but a way to get clients without using advertising, without using paid advertising. So that's what I teach one-on-one. So let's talk about how to be more magnetic to high ticket paying customers. If we get cut off again, guys, what I'll do is I'll just delay this till next week, because I want to make sure that everybody's able to catch this. So let's hope we're here till the very end. But just FYI, if I get cut off, we will do this broadcast again next week if we need to. So let's jump right in before any winds hit us again, right? So why is it important to switch over? What happens if you don't increase your prices, really? Like, it's not even about high ticket. It's not even about premium, right? Because what even is that? What is premium? What is high ticket? I classify it as anything 6K and above. So for the first 6 years of my business, I was working around the clock. I was seeing a lot of clients. Like, I had probably around 20 to 30 clients in a week, like 20 to 30 sessions in a week. And it was killing me, And my packages were like 1,000, 2,000, which if you're here, maybe that's what you're doing. Maybe you're selling so many sessions. Are you selling by number of sessions? Drop sessions in the comments. How many of you are still selling like a certain amount of sessions in your package? Like, you're still focused on the number of sessions people get. And this is the first mistake I see a lot of coaches and healers make, is that they're like, okay, they get so many sessions and it's this much. Because what ends up happening is your customer goes inside their head and they think the value is in the number of sessions, and it's not. Okay? We want to make sure that the value is in what they do, right? Think about it like, think about your coaching like them taking a class. Like, whenever you took class and you did nothing in between, did you get the value you needed out of the class? Probably not, right? Like, you had to study, you had to do the homework, you had to do the projects, and then you had to do the exam, right? Coaching's the same way. You're like a teacher, you're like a guide. The value is in what your client and customer does. So this is the first reason to switch over to, this is the reason to increase your prices, right? Here's why it's important to become magnetic, so that you don't end up having to chase clients and customers down. Like, you need the next client and the next payment, right? So here's what ends up happening if you're not magnetic. If you're putting out like a lot of anxiety and you're nervous, you're like, oh my gosh, like, are they gonna like me? Are they gonna buy? Am I gonna be able to close them? You are not magnetic there. You're not magnetic. And if you're not magnetic, what's gonna end up happening is you're gonna have to chase clients down forever. And here's the thing. Do you want clients and customers that you have to chase, that you have to like knock on their door so many times, that you have to keep nagging and nudging? Do you want those people? Because, think of enrollments, your enrollment process like dating. It's just like dating. Like, would you date someone who you had to keep nudging over and over again and texting and messaging over and over again with barely any response? Is that the type of relationship you want to create? Probably not. It's very exhausting. So when you're magnetic, you're putting that, you're putting yourself in the place of desire. You become more desirable. Your product becomes more desirable when you are magnetic. And when you're not, that's when you're going to get excuses like I can't afford it, or I have to think about it, right? How many of you are dealing with you're struggling with objections? How many of you are dealing with money or time objections? Put me in the comments if you're like, I'm getting stuck on, I can't afford it, I don't have the time, it's too expensive, now I have to focus on something else first. How many of you are struggling with those objections? Just put me in the comments, and that lets me know where you're at and what content to focus on as you go forward in this group. So here's what happens also when you're not magnetic, is that you always need so many clients to make ends meet. You're always gonna need so many clients to make ends meet. Like I used to. Like I always needed to see like 20 to 30 clients a week in order to pay my bills. And it was killing me. It was exhausting when you're not magnetic. Because when you're not magnetic, you're repelling. You're pushing people away. You're pushing clients away. Clients are overlooking you and going to the next coach or the next healer, right? When you're not magnetic, you don't have sustainability in your business because you can't keep clients because, again, you're not magnetic. And you end up having to keep chasing down new clients over and over and over again. And it's what Lonnie Dickinson, she was a guest speaker on the last summit, coined as the get client hamster wheel. She calls it the get client hamster wheel, which some of you may be familiar with. And I remember the get client hamster wheel. Okay. When you're not high ticket, because you don't increase your prices, clients, high ticket clients who are like they got the card in their pocket, but you end up pushing them away in very subtle ways that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. I'm going to talk about here in a minute the subtle ways in which you push people away. In other words, you repel, you push them away, okay? You ends up needing more customers when you're not magnetic and you polarize people away, your perfect customers away. You end up having to work harder and you get overlooked. And here was the worst part of it for me, was that you're selling your time for money, basically. You end up, when you're not magnetic and you have to almost beg people to work with you, you end up selling your time for money. Your time for money. You're like people pleasing. So you attract customers and clients that are people pleasing you. You guys know what I'm talking about? How many of you feel like you're with clients and you have to kind of people please each other to keep the relationship going? Like you have to be nice. You have to make sure they're happy. You want to make sure everybody's satisfied. You're working overtime to make sure like you're enough, like you're good enough. You're trying to prove yourself. How many of you drop the word prove? If you're like so busy trying to prove yourself, you don't feel good enough. And maybe that's why you're not full-time. Maybe you're not full-time because you don't believe you're good enough to lead. You're good enough to be a coach. You're gonna be everything that you expect yourself to be. There's a fear that you're gonna fall short on you or your clients' expectations. Put prove in the comments, because this was something that I struggled with for a long time and is a reason a lot of people are in this group, because they're people pleasers. You know, there's a codependency, there's an enmeshment in your customers and clients' problems, especially their financial problems. If you're struggling like paycheck to paycheck, how many of you are paycheck to paycheck in your business? Like a nightmare. Like that was a nightmare for me. And it was because I didn't feel like I was like worthy of the investment. We make it about us, and that repels clients. When you make it about you and you're like, yes, I got you, I got this, I have this background, I have this knowledge, you're taken care of. That's another way you repel high ticket paying customers. Okay? And you end up, when you're not magnetic, you end up attracting more codependent clients, clients who can't pay you, or clients who don't want to pay you, who don't want to invest more. And so you have to work harder. I remember I used to allow clients to break up payments into like obnoxious, an obnoxious amount of payments. Like 6 payments over 3 months is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And you end up lowering yourself to your client's standards versus challenging them to step up to where you are. And when I say that, I mean you're asking them to be empowered instead of like, oh, you can't afford it? Well, how about this? Oh, you can't afford that? Well, how about that? You see what I mean? So, setting the tone on that very first enrollment call is the most important piece. That is where you want to set the tone for what's to come and what's going to be expected of your customer and client. And we'll dissect this more in the future. I want to go into this bit, setting the tone, a bit more in the future. But right here, today, we're going to talk about this polarity. So for a lot of you here in this group, this thing called polarity, polarizing, which is what you need to pay attention to if now you want to go full-time into your business, or you want to make a full-time salary in your business. If you're ready to go to 6 figures or 5-figure months, put me in the comments. You're ready for 5-figure months. You're done with paycheck to paycheck. You are tired of chasing people down. You want sustainability in your business. You want to kind of know what's coming so that you're not done with one client this week and then you got to chase down another one. Put me in the comments if that's you. Awesome. Thank you for talking with us, James. And for everyone else tuning in, also let me know who's here on the line. Drop me some love, drop me some likes just to let me know that you're here. Who else do we have here on the line as we go forward here? Drop who else is on the line, just so you're not a little number on my screen. Let's see some faces here in the comments. So how do we get out of this get client hamster wheel? What is the solution to getting out of chasing and lowering our prices and feeling bad for our clients who can't afford us and that hamster wheel? The solution is polarity and magnetism. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this because if you just joined this group, this is probably brand new to you. So when we show up on the call, hey, Maria, awesome to see you here. Of course, you're like a regular. I love it. You're committed. Awesome. As I'm sitting here on this call here right now, I'm giving off a vibration. As you all are sitting there watching, you're giving off a vibration. And this vibration can be felt through emails, can be felt through text, can be felt through the screen, can be felt through air. Like, people don't need to be in the same room as you to know you're thinking about them. Now they have to be aware of it. They have to be open to receiving that kind of vibration. And most people aren't, right? Most people are so preoccupied that they would never notice that. But a great way to test this, guys, I want you to go out there and test this. I love this test to test polarity and magnetism. It's fun. It's fun. Go out to the supermarket or go out to I do this at my gym. And I want you to just start looking at someone. I want you to start putting your attention on someone who's not looking your direction at all. Like they're facing like that way. They're completely looking another way. But I want you to start putting your attention on them, like really focus on them. And what you're going to start to notice is that they're going to be looking around like I feel something. And it's because your vibration is moving towards them. It's such an incredible thing to witness. It works every time. Now, the person that you're focusing on needs to be open and receptive. That is important. That'll determine how much they realize that there's energy coming towards them if they're not preoccupied. But if you go into the supermarket, usually people are in a trance. They're open. They're looking around. They're shopping. Or at the gym, people are exercising. They're in a trance. Start to put all your attention on someone and watch what happens. See if they turn around or they start looking around like, what's going on? It's such a fun thing to test. And what this proves is that people can feel your energy on them. Now, the type of energy you want to put out is going to be very important in how and who you attract into your business. Okay. So in my first few years in business, I operated from a place of scarcity. Like I didn't have enough clients. I never had enough money. And that's what ends up happening when we have money and abundance blocks. And I've talked about this on a previous video. So scroll down the feed in this video. You'll find we talked about money blocks. I think it was last week. But when you have money and abundance blocks, you're always in a place of scarcity. You never have enough. Like, even if you got like $100,000 client, it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. And why? Because you are operating from a place of anxiety. You're operating from a place of fear. And so it doesn't matter how much money you get. You'll get like a temporary relief maybe, but then you go right back into anxiety. How many of you know what I'm talking about? This vicious cycle of like scarcity, not enough clients, not enough money, paycheck to paycheck. You don't know when the next paycheck is going to come. Put fear in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Because I remember being here and it didn't go away permanently, but if you stay here, you end up repelling the clients that are going to get you out of there, right? So here's what needs to happen so you can shift into a more magnetic to high ticket clients and customers. I'm going to give you some shifts right now that you can make right now so that you start having a different interaction on your enrollment calls. Okay? Because when I used to do my enrollment calls, there was a lot of like, oh my gosh, what if they don't buy? Oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay my bills? Am I ever going to be full-time in my business? Oh my gosh. If you go in with this energy, and this is an energy of fear, an energy of anxiety, so you're putting out a vibration of anxiousness. When you show up on a call like this, you're going to repel high ticket premium clients. I'm not saying you won't close people, but who you're going to close are typically codependents and people pleasers. People who are just signing on to be nice. They're just signing up to be nice. People will spend money on you and treat you like you're a gym membership and never go. Guys, I'm being completely vulnerable here with what I have experienced in the past. Have you ever had a client pay you money, and it's like now they have a membership to you, but they cancel a lot, they reschedule, they are late, they're not doing the homework, so they're not getting results. You guys know what I'm talking about? These membership only customers and clients. And if any of those resonated with you, put the word membership in the comments, because I was like, I am not a membership. Okay. I want you to see the value and what's possible for you if you do the work. And the reason why, here's one way I was repelling customers, the right customers, was that I was blaming them. This was a big piece of it. I was making them wrong. Do you do this with your clients? Like if they're not doing the homework, you go, oh, they're just lazy. They don't listen. They're unmotivated. You just give them all kinds of excuses. You give them excuses. And this is one of the biggest ways you push away clients is you give them excuses, you blame them, and then ultimately you blame yourself, right? Like you're not out of the picture. It's like it's always blaming going on. And then you only attract clients who are signing on to be nice, right? Or you have to drag them like an anchor. You feel like you're dragging people through the mud. You know what I'm talking about? These are more low quality clients that you can attract when you are needy. So when you're needy, you're going to attract needy. Okay, guys? When you're needy, you're going to attract a needy. Okay? So what needs to shift here so you're more magnetic? These are shifts you can make right now. Like, go test this shit out. Don't just sit here and listen to me talk, or again, you're not going to see the value. Okay? And what I'm doing right now is what I do with my customers. Don't just come to the sessions and listen to me talk. Go implement. You got to implement in order to get the results. Okay? All right, so first thing here, and you can start to practice this right now on your sales calls. In order to shift in more magnetic energy to attract high ticket premium customers, is to show up physically relaxed. Like, think about the energy of a confident coach, a $10,000 coach. What do you look like? How do you operate? How do you feel when you're that $10,000 package coach? When you're that $20,000 package? How are you behaving? This is one of my favorite questions to ask my current clients when they don't feel good enough to charge $10,000 or a $6,000 program or a $15,000 program. I'm asking you right now, who are you when you're being paid that? Who are you? How are you different? What are you doing differently when you're that coach? And right now, ideas are going to start generating it for you right now because I just planted a seed, right? So guys, drop in the comments, how are you different when you're premium? What are you doing differently? You know, I know for me, part of it was like, oh man, I need to show up on time. Like, I need to show up on time. I need to work harder. I need to deliver more. I need to not give my customers and clients excuses. I need to empower them. I need to challenge them. That's who I am when I'm that $18,000 coach or whatever your goal is. Okay. So a shift you can make right now is to show up and be physically relaxed. Okay. And be open, which leads into my next point here. You want to really be listening on your enrollment calls. You want to do more listening than talking. Okay. So you just get on the call and you just start off with a question. Yeah. So why are we here today? What's going on? And you let them go. See that? On a lot of new coaches or healers, when they're new in business, will often do more talking than the customer. You never want to create that dynamic. Again, now you're not magnetic to them. Now you're pushing them away. They're not looking for someone. High ticket customers are not looking for someone to impress them. High ticket premium customers are busy. They have their card in their fingertips. They need two things. They need to hear the right words. They need to trust you, and they need to feel good about it. Okay? So show up relaxed. Here's what I do before every call, guys. Here's what I do before every call. I used to like take calls from my car. How many of you here are taking enrollment calls from your car? Or from you're playing with your kids or you're playing with your dog? Stop doing that. You want to show up 100%. Stop taking phone calls. Move to Zoom. Because now you're asking more from yourself, and now you're going to be asking more from your clients, right? Now they need to show up on Zoom. Now they need to be focused. No more driving clients, guys. Never conduct an enrollment call while people are driving. Don't ever do that. You want to call them out on that stuff, okay? So you want to show up physically relaxed and calm. You want to do more listening than talking, okay? This is how you start to become more magnetic. You're flipping the dynamic now to you want them to need you more than you need them, okay? Think about that. If you're part-time in your business, or you're struggling to get clients, or maybe you're getting customers, but you're not keeping them, they end up canceling, you're like, hey, never mind. Or hey, Can I leave? Can I quit halfway through? All that kind of bullshit, right? When you know you have something to offer, and if you're here in this group, you probably have gold in your fingertips, right? You're coaching because you have a gift and there's no time for games. So you get to call them out on that. And that's something I walk my clients through, is how to do that. And that creates even more magnetism when you do that. So really listening when you're calm and you're relaxed, right? People buy energy. Remember, people are not buying you. They're not buying your product. They don't care about your service. They're buying your energy, okay? Next piece here is, in order to flip the dynamic so that they need you more than you need them, is you want to come off like a friend. You want to be like a friend. You don't want to come off like you're better than them, that you have more than them, that you need to impress them. You don't create these dynamics. Because what ends up happening is, here's the thing. When potential clients get on enrollment calls, and you've probably noticed this, how many of you are already conducting enrollment calls? Drop clients in the comments if you're already conducting enrollment calls. Maybe you just need help with like fine tuning them, getting people to the yes, being more magnetic. Maybe that's why you're here. Drop the word customer or client in the comments and let me know, are you guys actively talking to people? Are you actively enrolling people into your product or your program? And this lets me know what direction to shift in. So here's the thing. When people get on a call with you, a discovery call, a strategy call, whatever, their guard is already up. Have you guys noticed this? When people get on a call with you, their guard is already up. They're like, what's going on here, right? Is this a sales call? Is this free coaching? Are we just talking about life? Like, what is going on? It's your job to lower their defenses. It's your job to help them ease into and feel comfortable around you. And this is all part of building rapport. And we'll talk about this again in the future if you guys want to know more about building a solid ground relationship on the phone in that sales call. Okay. So if you want to know more about this, drop the word rapport in the comments. If you're like, I'm getting clients, I'm getting customers, but the calls aren't going so well. Like I'm getting them on, but then they give me excuses. I get objections. They say I got to think about it. Drop the word rapport in the comments if you need more guidance in conducting these sales and enrollment conversations. Okay. So let's circle back here. In order to start to help people ease and be more comfortable around you, which creates more magnetism, guys. Comfort creates magnetism. Familiarity creates magnetism. Is talk like a friend, like don't try to impress them. Don't try to talk them into your program. Don't do that. You're going to scare people away. Now you're being salesy, right? Talk like a friend. Like I just had a call today. I just closed a $6,000 package just before this call. And I was just like, God, that's a long time to be suffering. Like that sounds really tough. Like it's like you're coming off as like a concerned mentor. You're coming off like a concerned mentor. And I love that phrase. I got it from another group that I'm part of. You're a concerned mentor. You're concerned. Like you show concern, right? It's concerning. If they're on the phone with you, they're probably concerned, right? They're concerned. So you want to mirror that back. That's how you create more magnetism. Right there is like, wow, if I was in your shoes, I would be afraid too. Like that's a tough place to be. How would you talk to a friend? That creates more magnetism, okay? Here's the piece a lot of coaches and I would say this is the biggest piece that the clients I work with are missing. You're not congruent. That's the biggest piece. In fact, for a lot of you, congruency is going to be a brand new concept here. What do I mean by congruent? Like, if I sit here and I say you're not congruent, you're probably like, what the heck are you talking about? I don't know what that means, right? This is kind of abstract for a lot of people. When you're not congruent, let's say you're feeling concerned, but maybe you're smiling. Or maybe you feel anxious, but you're smiling. You're pretending you're not, right? Or maybe you don't really care about this customer's not a good fit for you, but you pretend like you are a good fit for them. When you're not in alignment with yourself, when you're not in alignment with your desires or your feelings in the moment, you are incongruent, which means you cannot be confident. You cannot be confident if you're not congruent. You cannot be relaxed if you're not congruent, because your subconscious knows when you're lying to yourself. And I demo this for clients, how your unconscious knows when you're lying to yourself, but I don't need to demo this. You guys already know when you're bullshitting yourselves, right? I don't need to demo this. So when you're not completely truthful with your clients, when you're not showing up as the person that you're projecting, you're going to scare people away. Because your customers are going to think something like, something just feels off about this person. Like, it's like they're saying the right things, but I feel their fear. They feel your fear. They feel your anxiety. You see that? And that's incongruence. That's going to trigger your customer and client to go into fight or flight, and they are gonna flight. They're most likely not gonna fight. They're probably gonna fly away. So if you're not congruent, if you're showing up tense, we're going back over the principles here. If you're showing up tense, if you're doing more talking than listening, if you're coming off trying to impress them, like, look at me, I have all of this, I got you, don't worry, disregard, people are going to go into flight mode. They're either going to go into fight or flight, and they're most likely going to say, not for me right now, thank you, I have to think about it, I can't afford it. And really, it's all of the while we are not magnetic to our dream clients. Okay? 2 more principles here. 2 more. Hang on with me, guys. I know this is long going here. I know we had to restart, but hang out with me here the next few minutes here, because these are important as well, okay? I know my voice is almost gone, but I added these 2 and they're so important, okay? Are you guys ready for these last 2 principles? Put the word let's go in the comments if you're ready for these last 2 principles here that instantly will create more magnetism to high ticket customers. Are you guys ready? Let me know in the comments if you're ready for these last 2, and then we'll wrap up here today. And these are things, again, you can start implementing on your sales conversations right away. You're going to notice a difference when you show up relaxed, when you're doing more listening than talking, when you're acting like a friend, when you're acting like a concerned mentor. You should be concerned. If you're going to work with them, you better be concerned, right? Would you want to hire someone who's not concerned about you? Probably not, right? Last 2 here. Yeah, thanks, James. Thanks, Ava, for being here. Awesome to see you here, Ava. And Rita, how are you doing, Rita? Long time no see. I know you're killing it out there with them coins. Awesome. Awesome to see you going after your purpose. Last 2 here is you never want to hurry a call. I've done this subconsciously in the past without knowing it, but maybe you end up looking at your watch and you're like, oh shit, I have another call after this, or you're getting tired and you're like, I got to get off this call. Never, ever try to speed along a sales conversation or a discovery call. You may fall into that trap, right? I got a call after this, blah, blah, blah. And part of this is going to be prioritizing your time a little better, maybe giving yourself more space for these calls while you're practicing and getting them really set and like knowing you can close within 30 minutes, right? That's kind of where I'm at. That's my sweet spot. It's like 30 minutes. Anything longer usually ends up not being a good customer or client for me. So fine tune your sales calls, get them down to 30 minutes. But until then, Give yourself an hour, some space, so you're not hurrying. So you're not like, okay, well, I gotta go, or hey, let's just speed it along. So you don't want to do that. Or again, you're going to push away who's on the phone with you right in that moment. Okay. People want to know that you're concerned about their problem. If they're going to hire you, if they're going to pay you 10K, 15K, 8K, 30K, then wouldn't you want that person to give you all the time that you need to vent, to be heard, to be seen, right? So you want to take your time. When you're taking your time, this goes back to being relaxed, right? You want to be relaxed. You want to take your time. Give them the space they need to vent, to be seen, to be heard. A lot of these customers you're talking about are coming to you because they're not seen and heard at home. Their spouses aren't seeing and hearing them. Their kids aren't seeing and hearing them. Their family, they're not seen and heard. When you can be their rock, that's what's going to create more polarity. Okay? When you can be that rock for them. Okay? Ava's asking, so 1 hour is enough starting out, or 90 minutes? Ava, are you talking about just a discovery call? Like a strategy call? You're just talking about sales and enrollment calls? 90 minutes is a little long if this person isn't already invested in your process. So I would say get your discovery calls down to at least 45 minutes. And if you're going past 45 minutes, I would do some self-evaluation and find out, okay, how's this dragging on? How can I get right to the point? Like, yeah, you want to get that down because they're not paying you for that time. That's a long time for someone who's not invested with you. You know what I mean? So you want to get right to the point. What I recommend is recording your calls. There's a great app on the phone called Tape a Call if you want to record your phone calls. And obviously you can record over Zoom, which I highly recommend just using Zoom. Get off the phone, stop driving and taking calls from your car, get on Zoom, get in front of people, be fully committed if you want people to be fully committed in your process, okay? Last piece here, last principle here, and then we're going to wrap up, is go in with no expectations, okay? You want to show up on your enrollment calls and your strategy and discovery calls. No expectations. No, like, I hope I close them. I need to get dinner tonight. Or I need to get groceries, right? I know that place. It's terrifying when you got to pay bills. I know it. I get it. I'm not disregarding that. But it's not your client's responsibility to manage your anxiety, okay? You don't want to put that on them. And think about it like this. Like, look, here's what helped me. I'm going to give you guys an insight to help you manage this if this is where you are. If you're like, I got to pay bills, or I want to go full-time into my business, but there's anxiety around that. Look, if you have anxiety about going full-time into your business, you're going to have anxiety about closing clients. Like, it's just going to transfer over. But look, guys, what you're selling is going to, let's just say you close this client. How far is that money going to take you? A week, 2 weeks, tops? That money is going to hold you over, a couple weeks? That payment that you get, that one payment you get, maybe you're doing installments, monthly installments. How long is that payment going to cover you? A few weeks, a couple weeks, 3 weeks max? What your customer is giving you is only going to really support you for a few weeks. But what you're giving your customer is going to last them a lifetime. So think about that as we wrap up here. The exchange here is money. The exchange here is money is energy. We'll talk about that more. That money is going to hold you over a couple weeks, right? With all your expenses. But what you're providing for your customer is going to impact them for a lifetime. And when you think about it like that for me was like, wow. Like, then that just means it's not fair to put all that pressure on my client to pay my bills, to get my to go full time into my business, to hit 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, whatever the next level is for you. It's not fair. Would you want someone else to put all that pressure on you to pay their bills? No, not at all, right? So don't do that to your clients. In that case, you want to create more abundance. You want to create more abundance of clients, or potential clients in this case. If you need help doing this, this is what I do one-on-one with my clients, is I teach you how to build an online audience without paid advertising. And that for me was music to my ears when I learned this, that you can build an audience online, an email list or a Facebook group or Instagram, whatever, of thousands of people using unpaid methods. This is how I built my business. Okay. This is how I get clients now. I don't pay for advertising. And this is what I teach one-on-one. So it was awesome of you guys to tune in today. I hope you got some value out of being here today. This was a powerful session. Go back and rewatch this, pick up all the nuggets that you missed, and drop the word value if you got value out of this training here today, out of this workshop. And if you want to know more about how to build your online presence, again, it doesn't matter the platform, without the use of paid advertising, this is part of what I teach one-on-one, okay? You don't need to spend thousands on Facebook ads. You don't even need Facebook ads. You don't need Google ads, which are even more expensive than Facebook ads, okay? You can build your presence online using digital events and cross-promoting yourself with other people. So this is what I teach. If you want to know more about that, drop the word help in the comments. If you want more one-on-one, you want to know how to build your audience, you're like, how the heck do I even, where is my audience? Like, I don't have an audience to talk to. You need an audience to talk to, okay? You need an audience to talk to, sell to, build trust, and the platform doesn't matter. But if you want help with doing that, drop the word help in the comments, and me or someone from my team will reach out to you over the next 24 to 48 hours and drop the word value if this is valuable, if this has been helpful to you. If you want more one-on-one help with your sales and enrollment call process, you really want to become more magnetic, close high-ticket customers today, I also walk healers and coaches through fine-tuning their sales process and enrollment processes as well. So if you need to build your audience, you want to learn how to close high ticket, you want to troubleshoot that one-on-one, drop the word help below. If not, drop the word value. If you got value, guys, go back and rewatch us. Have a powerful week, and I'm so excited to see you in the group. Awesome, guys, tuning in. Our next summit is rolling out in June, and I'm gathering all the speakers for that. So post your questions to the group. Thank you for being here, guys. Love all of you for being here, and let's build a community. Introduce yourselves to the group, and I'll see you inside. Guys, have a great week.